Hey guys, Pierre from Into Fly Fishing. In this video we will look at 10 of the best Euro nymphing flies. This video forms part of an in-depth Euro nymph series on our channel. Be sure to check the links in the video description down below to watch more videos in this series. I've recently been doing a lot of Euro nymphing with a Moonshine Vesper 10.5 with 3-weight fly rod. Click on the top right of your screen to check out my full review on the Moonshine Vesper Euro nymphing rod. I've been using the Euro nymphing techniques for a good number of years now. Back when I started out with it, it didn't have a specific name. It was just a way for us to catch our indigenous yellowfish species in South Africa. As the popularity of this fishing style grew and more variations started popping up, I started integrating more of these techniques in my own fishing style. Euro nymphing is a broad term that includes many different ways and methods of fishing with nymphs. In essence, they all have the same purpose: getting a fly down to a fish that's holding deep and doing that with a natural drift. As the name suggests, Euro nymphing comes from both Western and Eastern Europe and was developed by their competition anglers. It's not a particularly beautiful style of fishing like dry fly fishing, but what it lacks in beauty it makes up for in effectiveness. Depending on the distance and the leader construction, each specific Euro nymphing technique has a specific name, for instance Czech nymphing or French nymphing and so on. For the purpose of this video we won't be looking at these specific techniques, but rather the flies that we use in them. Now at this point you might be asking, why are there specific flies that work better with Euro nymphing techniques than others? I mean, a nymph is a nymph, right? Not really. Although you could use a standard pheasant-tail nymph in a Euro nymphing rig, it will not be as successful as a fly developed specifically for this purpose. The first and probably most important feature of a good Euro nymph fly is a fast sink rate. Part of what makes this technique so effective is that your fly is down in the fish's feeding zone for most of the drift. For this reason, most Euro nymphing flies includes tungsten beads. A fly that takes ages to drop down through the water column won't be nearly as effective as a good Euro nymph fly. Now this doesn't mean you need to strap on a 4mm fly each time you hit the water. No, in slower water or shallower water, I recommend going from bead size 2mm to 3mm or even 3.5mm, and for deeper water and faster water you can go from 3.5mm to 4mm. A second feature that makes a good Euro nymphing fly is its profile. I know that the Euro nymphing fly needs to sink fast, and one of the other factors that influence a fly's sinking rate is its profile. A fly that has a bulky and buggy profile can't sink nearly as fast as one with a slim and slender profile. For this reason you'll see that many of my favorite Euro nymphing flies have slim tapered bodies. Now out of a fly tying perspective, the trick is to keep these two attributes, the slim and slender body, and still make the fly look realistic. The third feature of a good Euro nymphing fly is the inclusion of trigger points. The trigger on the fly can be the inclusion of flash material, a fluorescent collar or a tag, or even some lively legs or a brightly colored bead. As you'd expect, there are literally hundreds and thousands of different Euro nymphing flies on the market. After all these years of experimenting and fishing all over the world, I've narrowed my fly box down to the following 10 great Euro nymphing flies. The Perdigon Nymph is probably the pattern that have most successfully migrated from competition fishing and can be found in many recreational anglers' fly boxes. The Perdigon Nymph has all the features of a great Euro nymphing fly. It has a big tungsten bead, a slim tapered body and a pronounced wing case. On top of that, the fly has two huge built-in trigger points. The body is made from a flashy material and the thorax is a fluorescent collar. The Perdigon is available in a wide range of colors, with the most popular sizes ranging from 12 to 18. Make sure you carry a good selection of these with various sized and colored beads. The chances are that you've never heard of the gun before. It was developed by a member of the South African national fly fishing team, Gary Glenyoung. The fly is filled with many trigger points, and hence the name. Although the fly can be tied in a range of colors, the image shows the original combination. It has a chartreuse trigger spot at the base of the tail, and the abdomen is made from a UV flashaboo and colored in on top to resemble a mayfly's larva's two-tone coloration. Probably one of its biggest trigger points is the fine rubber legs that give it incredible movement underwater. The gun is tied on a jig hook that ensures the hook point rides up, resulting in fewer snags to the bottom and looking after the hook point. I carry guns in sizes 14 and 16 with 2.5 to 3.5mm beads. The Frenchie is an adapted pheasant-tail nymph. It is tied using the same materials but with a couple of tweaks to make it more suitable for Euro-nymphing. The first adaptation is the jig hook. Once again, it allows the hook point to ride on top, resulting in fewer snags to the bottom. Because the fly is tied on this style of hook, the bead is slotted. The second adaptation is the fluorescent collar just behind the bead. This color may be varied, with the most popular being fluorescent orange and pink. In my opinion, the Frenchie proves how versatile a fly the pheasant-tail nymph is. I find that this fly works particularly well in small sizes from 16 to 18 and use it with confidence on fussy trout. While the first three imitations lean more towards the Mayfly nymph, the Caddis Nymph fly represents the prolific caddis larva. For this reason, the Caddis Nymph is tied on a curved shank or scud hook, which gives the fly a more natural appearance. The Caddis Nymph has a slightly bulkier abdomen and thorax, so it won't sink quite as fast as, let's say, the Perdigon Nymph. But what it lacks in sink rate, it makes up for in profile and appearance. The Caddis Nymph fly is available in a wide range of colors and sizes, making it relevant for almost all rivers in the world. Carry a good selection of colors, sizes and bead weights. The zebra midge imitates a midge larva. The inclusion of the silver ribbing and bead is not done at random. This coloration imitates a very specific stage in the larva's life cycle. Like most aquatic larvae, midge's larvae spend most of their time on the bottom under rocks and aquatic vegetation. Before beginning the transformation from larva to adult, air bubbles accumulate under the exoskeleton. The silver bead and ribbing on the zebra midge accurately represent this stage. The zebra midge has a slim profile and a heavy bead, which allows it to sink like a brick. Carry various colors including black, brown, red and olive in sizes from 14 to 20. If you're a beginner fly tyer and need to fill a box with excellent Euro-nymphing flies, the Walt Worm is your best bet. The fly was developed by Walt from Pennsylvania in the 1980s and imitates a wide range of aquatic larvae. This adaptation of the Walt Worm is tied on a jig hook with a slotted tungsten bead, allowing the hook point to ride up, resulting in fewer snags. I also find that a jig hook results in solid hookups with a point penetrating the fish's top jaw in most cases. A fluorescent collar is added behind the bead as a trigger point and can be orange, chartreuse or pink. I carry a selection of the Walt worms in sizes ranging from 12 to 20 in many different colors and weights. The San Juan worm is another one of my go-to fly patterns because it's quick and easy to tie and most importantly it catches a heck load of fish. I tie the San Juan worm on a curved shank hook which gives me a more solid hookup. The fly is made from a thin piece of red, fluorescent pink or orange chenille. A tungsten bead is positioned in the middle of the shank and can range in size depending on the depth you're fishing at. I must mention that the San Juan worm sink rate is not quite as fast as the other patterns due to the loose chenille, but it's an excellent choice for slightly slower water. A good Euro-nymphing box will always have various colors and weights in sizes ranging from 14 to 18. The CDC Mayfly Nymph is a very generic pattern and different tyers call it different names. In my mind, there are very few new patterns around, so I just call the pattern a CDC Mayfly Nymph. In essence, it's a slim-bodied flyer like the Perdigon tied on a jig hook, which includes CDC. The main trigger point here is the inclusion of the CDC collar, which does a couple of things. Firstly, it creates a slightly bulkier thorax area, which gives the fly a natural profile. The CDC fibers also represent a nymph's legs or evolving wing. CDC itself also traps micro air bubbles, which I believe is the most important trigger point on this fly. The CDC Mayfly Nymph is available in a huge selection of colors and sizes, which is why this is my favorite pattern from this list. We all know the woolly bugger is an excellent fly. I'd even go as far as to say it is the best fly ever created. The Jig Bugger is an adaptation of the woolly bugger, showing the fly's versatility. In basic terms, it is a scaled down version tied on a jig hook with a slotted bead. Now, what makes the fly so amazing is its versatility on the water. When I guide clients that have never cast a fly rod before, it doesn't help you put on a tiny dry fly to get the classic sip off the surface heat. This is where I put on the Jig Bugger. In most cases, I'll swing the Jig Bugger to likely fish holding spots, but this is also an excellent Euro-nymphing fly. It opens the standard style of Euro-nymphing up a little, which means you can jig the fly around at the end of the drift. I mainly carry these flies in black, especially if there are tadpoles in the system you're fishing. Good sizes range from 12 to 16, all tied on jig hooks. The red tag is a typical modern Euro-nymph fly, where each component is specifically selected to have a purpose. Form follows function. The fly is tied on a jig hook and with a slotted bead. In most cases the hooks are small, ranging from 14 to 20, with beads from 4 to 2 mm in size. There is no tail except a short, brightly coloured tag that acts as a sighter and a trigger. The body is slim and durable, allowing you to get a maximum sink rate and catch multiple fish on a single fly. A simple thorax includes a tiny amount of dubbing for the profile and a couple of CDC fibers for the bugginess. I find that the red tag works particularly well in off-coloured water, where the tag makes the fly more visible to fish. In gin clear water, I'd probably opt for a more natural looking pattern. I hope that you found this video on the best Euro-nymphing flies helpful, and if you did, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications. And remember, this video forms part of an in-depth Euro-nymphing series on our channel, so be sure to check out the links to these videos in the description below. Until next time, cheers.